The Vision Pro headset that Apple just announced at WWDC 2023, I know this cliche gets used a lot, but it has just changed the world. What's going on, YouTube? Yes, Apple WWDC 2023 just wrapped, and with a ton of announcements, I'll have a whole separate video on my top 5. The big thing, the one more thing, was the Vision Pro augmented reality headset. So I'm going to react to it. We're going to dive into everything great about it and some even potentially very dangerous things about it. So subscribe, click the bell. You know what to do. It's YouTube. It's the Granny Geek Show. Where do you even begin with this? So it was an hour-long presentation. Basically at around 2:20-ish, they do the one more thing. Right? Apple has the famous one more thing when they announce new product categories, and the Vision Pro augmented reality headset was the one more thing. Now, a couple of quick definitions. So we're all used to reality, right? But then you have VR, or virtual reality, in which everything you see is digitally created, where you can be on a different planet or underwater or in outer space, right? But then you have augmented reality, which is a combination of VR and just plain old reality. It takes the world you see and it puts digital assets and things like movies, email, your web browser, all those things in your physical space. It measures the room, it understands depth, it understands shadow, and it will really make you feel like what you're seeing is in the room physically, but of course it's not. With those definitions out of the way, here's some of the incredible things that the headset will allow us to do. You'll be able to resize a movie to the size of your wall, or even create a space around you, such as a natural landscape or space or water, who knows, and then put that same movie at an infinite scale, nearly infinite, making it a 100-foot screen, as they even said in the keynote. This, of course, combines with spatial audio to pinpoint sound in the room so you'll really feel immersed. And guys, this is one step closer to full 360 immersive experiences with both movies and video games, where you'll never see the same movie the same way twice, as with it being captured with a 360 camera. If you even turn your head to the left or to the right during a scene, it will change the way you perceive the movie, or what angle you see, or what character you're looking at. So all of these things are now possible with Apple's Vision Pro headset. Now, the thing is huge, right? It looks like the Oculus Rift. They didn't try to make it small, and this thing is so big it actually has a fan in it, or at least that's what Apple implied. You see, they have these cutouts on the bottom of it, and they said that it draws air in, cool air in from the bottom. Well, how would it draw that air in without a fan? It implies that there's a fan. Now, of course, with your nose being right there, are you gonna constantly get a cool breeze up your nose? We don't know. These are things we have to test. Now, in terms of it actually fitting on your head, in terms of its physicality, they will have different sizes of ceiling eye things to ensure you get the right fit for your forehead, your cheekbones and things, so that it doesn't fatigue you after long uses, like with a movie or something like that, or playing a video game. They even teamed up with lens maker Zeiss to create prescription level covers for the eye holes on the Vision Pro, allowing you to have a lossless experience even if you need glasses. So they really don't want you wearing glasses with the headset over your head, okay? But it's a light aluminum. It takes a lot of cues, obviously, from the Apple Watch. There's a digital crown on it, but it also takes cues from Apple's AirPods Max, right? The over-the-ear headphones that Apple released. It has some of the same mesh cloth material. The aluminum kind of looks the same in that way. So a lot of design cues from a lot of their products in the past. And it's not only hardware deep. Even in the software, they said that they built off of iOS, iPad OS, and even Mac OS to create a core for the operating system. And then they just built AR specific features and things, allowing it to still run essentially on iOS, which is essentially Mac OS, while giving us this whole new experience. Now, before we get into some more entertaining things you can do with this headset, and even some of the dangers of this headset, let's talk about the price. So this thing comes in at a whopping $3,500. Is it $3,500? That can't be right. Probably worse. Okay, yes, indeed, it is $3,500. But Apple, of course, prefaced this by saying, if you were to go out and buy a high-end quality theater speaker system, followed by a 75-inch plus 4K plus television, right, and a super powerful computer, you still wouldn't be near what the AR capabilities, the total capabilities of the Vision Pro are. And then they tell you it's going to cost $3,500. At the same time, what you're getting with the speakers with spatial audio is not going to be equivalent to a fully maxed out home theater speaker system. But it's not all cotton candy and fun. Let's talk about the dangers of this headset, and there are quite a few. Starting out with the first one, I mean, we've already got people walking into trains, cars, buses, into the street, etc., just with AirPods, okay? Listening to their music and not being aware of their surroundings. And of course, there are tons of awareness modes now with AirPods. But okay, what happens when we have a headset that is trying to make you aware of your surroundings, but you know there's going to be that one person who tries to watch a full-length movie while walking in the streets of New York. So I'd imagine and look out for a potential ban on any augmented headset while walking in the city. I'd imagine it'd carry a fine a little higher than jaywalk. Number two, how are parents and spouses going to be able to keep an eye on, keep track of? How is there going to be transparency in regards to what is being seen on these devices? Look, anytime you have incredible personal 4K screens, a 4K on each eye, you're going to have a private viewing experience. And we all know that that can be abused. So Apple already said that what you look at is very private. So they're protecting it for the user, but I would need to see parental controls and some kind of transparency, accessibility enabled in order to protect young people and young minds from being exposed to content that their brains are not developed enough to handle, which can cause serious problems. I mean, we're already just not really even getting a handle on screen time with young people and looking at how it's affecting their psychology, their mental abilities. And so now to have a screen glued to their face, I mean, you're talking about some serious screen time restrictions are going to need to be implemented for these Vision Pro headsets. Number three, and this is a nuanced but a very big one with serious implications, human connection. Do an experiment. How many people do you know who have an iPhone? When you're in the city, how many people do you see with AirPods in? When you're walking around town, how many people do you see doing this with their eyes glued to their phone? Now imagine all those scenarios, but now with a headset on their faces. People will be walking around looking like robots. A face is a very important thing. Sometimes it can give away somebody's intentions, right? It hides the identity. Masks do that. Okay, and so that human interaction will be lost if you have people walking around looking like LeVar Burton all the time, you know, reading Rainbow Cyclops people out here. And as adults, we may not think it's a big deal, but certainly for children who are still developing, seeing the emotional reactions of people other than their parents, family members, other adults, other kids, and things like that is important for their social skills, their ability to understand social situations and how what they say or do can make someone else feel. But if they always have a mask blurring and obscuring their emotions and their intent, you could run into some dangers with children who are already so connected to phones but isolated socially. Now they won't even be able to see somebody's face. So serious precautions there I think are appropriate. And finally, this channel is famous for talking about how the iPad is the future of all technology, okay? Now, what does this AR headset do to that? Well, to be honest, it utterly destroys it. It kills it. And even though it says that the AR headset is compatible with iPad and Mac, you can even take your Mac screen and put it real big in front of you in augmented reality and stuff. This is the end of physical devices with screens on them, right? Many people were saying during the event, did Apple just kill 4K TVs? Think bigger than that. Apple has killed iPhone screens. Apple has killed so many different things. In fact, imagine an iPhone that just looks like a battery, right? Just a brick, and then the augmented reality headset puts the screen on the phone. Screens take up a lot of the battery juice of your device. So if Apple can just ship iPhones that don't even have a screen on them, because people with the AR headset will be able to put a screen anywhere, it will eliminate and alleviate screen production for a lot of big companies. Today is the beginning of the end of those devices, at least as we know them now. So then what would be the future of the iPhone or iPad? Very simple. You know how when the Apple Watch first came out, its first iterations, it was very much tethered to the iPhone. It had to load apps through that. It couldn't really be activated without an iPhone. It just needed an iPhone. But as they were able to put more and more powerful chips on smaller and smaller dies, they were able to make the Apple Watch completely independent of an iPhone. And I think that the Apple Vision Pro would or should follow a similar trajectory. They already got this aluminum battery that tethers to your headset, so we're going to look like robots. And we just got rid of headphone cables, right? We're all wireless now, and now we got Apple just put another wireless, wired. Apple just put another. It's like we keep going backwards. Why not make that battery an iPhone? It would provide both juice and horsepower to the headset. Now, of course, inside the headset, you have the M2 chip and also the R1 or Reality 1 chip. But I'm pretty sure the iPhone can handle a lot of that, or at least future versions of the iPhone will be able to handle it. That would allow you to make the headset much smaller, because you're essentially not running a whole computer on your head, right? It's just tethered. That's what you got to do anyway with their little battery pack. So now, granted, the Apple Vision Pro does advertise all-day battery life, but you're going to need to plug it in eventually. So why not plug it into an iPhone? It could provide a little extra power, a little extra horsepower for performance and stuff. Who knows? Might be cool. Either way, this is an amazing first generation of new Apple product. Now, we don't know how this is actually going to work in practice, but if it's even half as good as what they're showing, yeah, it's going to change the world. So let me know, of course, what you think of the new Apple Reality headset. Is this dangerous? Is this great? Is there no danger? I'd like to hear it all down in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe, and stay tuned as I'll be talking about my top favorite things from WWDC 2023, and we'll also probably be doing an in-depth look at iOS 17 for both the iPad Pro and the newest iPhone 14 Pro Max. So keep it locked here. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granny Geek Show.